the UAP, the
Right.
Philippines Premier Collegiate League.
Yes.
Finally, they returned to home. This is home.
The Blue
They used to
Eagle
play a
Gym.
lot in the Blue Eagle Gym in our school.
Dude.
Ateneo de Manila, they returned to the gym. Well, how long has that been? Do we know?
Man, since what? Oh 06, oh 07?
It's been a while. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
I've seen a UAP game there ever since we were in
Since we were
school.
in school. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And what? First of all, what do you think? Okay, so it's been 20 years since the UAP has held it.
Sheesh.
So it's 05.
Oh
It's actually
05.
when we were in
We
school
were in
technically.
school. Yeah.
Um, okay, so I want to talk about first. What do you have any specific memories in or around that gym
I
that you
have
want to
one.
share?
Yeah. I have one. This is very obscure, man. 2000 we were college freshmen. Um, Before the UAP season started, Ateneo had an exhibition game against Ginebra
Wait, what?
in the blue. Ateneo, yeah, our Blue Eagles had an exhibition game against Ginebra, and LA Tenorio. This was my first glimpse of LA Tenorio. So I was seated not on the sidelines, but I was seated on behind the behind where Ateneo was shooting in the first half.
So you were behind the backboard, really?
Behind the
Is that
backboard,
it?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So there was one fast break play where LA Tenorio did this behind this trademark behind the back dribble. He goes up and I forgot who went up to meet him, but it was one of the Ginebra bigs. He flipped it behind his back, and Enrico Villanueva caught it and slammed it. And I'm like, oh shit! Now we can beat the La Salle press. I'm like, we finally have the point guard who can beat the La Salle press.
Wow. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
that
look.
was a-
I didn't even
Yeah.
know this game happened. They
Yeah,
were. They
yeah.
were. It was probably an exhibition, right?
Yeah, it was exhibition. Yeah,
It was just a tune-up game or something like that.
yeah,
So
tune-up game. Yeah,
I'm going. I'm
Yeah.
going with. So I'm guessing this happened around the 2001,
right.
right?
Yeah.
Season.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the bigs on the roster of Ginebra here. So they got Jun Lipot.
Uh huh.
That was one. You had Alex Quisano was on that team apparently.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I think Crisano played that game. Yeah, but I don't think the big stars played because it was a tune-up.
Well, if this is the case, then that's probably Wilmer Ong that had the privilege of
Could
that.
be,
He was
yeah,
on that
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
You got you got Ronald Mactulis on that team. You had Virgel
Uh,
Meneses, couple of legends. So that was wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you know who won that game, or was it close, or
I kind of forgot. Yeah, it was like a member. I don't even think I finished the game because I think there was I think I had like class in the afternoon or something.
why'd you even go? You should have finished the game. You should have cut the class and just
I
watched
saw
the
that,
game.
like, I saw,
That
like,
was one of
the
those
first-
games where I think
Probably the first half. I don't even remember. Yeah.
right.
I just remember
Okay.
that. I just remember that play because everyone went wild.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And given the fact that that gym was old and crusty and hot,
Yeah.
right? Because that gym is one of the oldest gyms in the country, if
One
I
of the
remember
oldest.
correctly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we were there sometimes for school functions, right? Without because
Pep rallies,
did we even have masses
Masses.
there? Because we're
We did.
obviously a Catholic school. I remember having masses in there, and it's just so hot, and you'd have
Bro.
those. You'd have those
Bro, I
industrial fans, those big ass fans, just blowing in there, and you're sitting there for 2 hours, bored
Bro.
out of your skull. I mean, no disrespect, but it's just.
Bro, speaking of masses, when we were in 7th grade, this is kind of NSFW, but
All right.
we
can censor it.
we had Thanksgiving mass there, bro, one time, and then you know how our seats were on the court, not on the sides.
Yeah.
Dude, I think you remember this, man. There was like a piece of used rubber.
Dude, what?
And people were like, we were like, all like cracking up because it was right there.
How old were we in this? How old were we? Do you know?
13, 14 years old, bro.
No, I don't even know. I think.
It's like
How old that
gross,
would be
man.
cra- Well, look, it's near college, right? Right, it is what it is, right? There's,
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's probably someone who wanted to get lucky in that place, and he probably did.
Yeah.
Props to him, and props to him for keeping it safe.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do. I can't. I don't even have stories based on what you did, man. Those stories that you have are a little bit more, a little more insane. Because the stories that I had are a little bit more nostalgic. So I remember because there was, I think they sold soft drinks and juices and stuff in that area.
Yes.
In that
Yes, I
gym,
remember. Yes.
right?
Yes.
And this
Yeah.
was when, and this is how old we are.
Grade school days.
Yeah, yeah. This is how
Yeah.
old we are, right? This is how old we are. I'm just gonna show everyone how old we are now. I remember this was the first time that Gatorade was introduced in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Okay, and here's the
Yeah.
thing: back then, Gatorade wasn't in plastic bottles; they were in glass bottles. There's big ass glass bottles. Okay,
Yeah.
and then I remember just because of the hype. This is Michael Jordan. This is the NBA
Right.
stuff, and
Yeah, be like Mike and all that
right.
stuff. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember how long those lines were. It's just wrapping all around the gym just
Yeah.
because people wanted to try Gatorade.
The Gatorade. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what is this? What is this? And then I remember the first time trying it. This is it. I don't feel. This is like water. I spent my
Yeah.
money on this. I remember getting the red one. I don't know what the flavor of that was, but I remember getting the red one after a couple of
Fruit punch,
long
I think.
minutes
Yeah.
waiting for my turn. I was able to buy a couple, and then we put it in the Coleman. You know, the water
Yeah.
jug, the plastic water
Yeah.
jug. We put it in there,
Yep.
and it didn't even taste like anything. I thought it was gonna taste like juice or some shit like that, but
Right.
it didn't taste like anything. I was so disappointed in drinking Gatorade the first time after queuing for that long in that hot gym.
Right.
So that was one story that I have there, and another
Yeah.
one that is a little bit more interesting. And I mentioned this before is I watched the Pampanga Dragons win their championship in that.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I watched the NBA games because they were just
I
like
think-
fuck.
I think I saw a practice at the Blue Eagle Gym once. A practice of the Manila Metro Stars.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that game that I watched was between them and the Manila Metro Stars, who had
Yeah.
um,
Bukul,
Romelo Ducul, one of the premier
Yeah.
centers at the time, and then Alex Compton,
Alex Compton.
yeah, Filipino white boy.
Yeah.
So yeah. That was the game that I watched. I just remember just going there to watch games really, and it was so hot. But what the funny thing was, and the most amazing thing in that game was, obviously they won, right? They won the game, and then streamers were going down and shit. I was able to go down onto the floor, and this was one of the rare
no
times.
way.
You know, I was able to celebrate. I didn't know the only dude I knew in that game was Ato Agustin.
Yeah, Atom
Right?
Bomb.
He was the most famous guy in that
Yeah.
team, and then I
Yeah.
just was just going there down. I was on the court interacting with these players, and that was fun for me
Yeah.
as a kid.
Yep.
So
one,
those
of
are
my
those.
favorite, one of my favorite point guards was also in the Pampanga Dragons team, man. The White Knight, Jerome Ejercito.
Jerome Ejercito, the
man.
Penny Hardaway, right? He's like the big
Yeah,
point guy. I
man.
remember that.
What,
Yeah, he was
6'3"?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there. He's related to the president, right?
Dude, his dad, Jerome Ejercito's dad is like a legend. You know, if you know, you know. George Estregan.
Was it this one? Oh my god, the legend, the legend,
Legend.
George. He's very famous. He is very famous. Yes, I know.
He's very famous. That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, man, I was after that game they had against the
Yeah.
Manila Metro Stars. I was just I was able to come down, get some autographs,
Right.
get to, that was pretty
Nice.
cool core memory
Yeah.
for me just watching that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only sat courtside for a couple of games in my life. Right?
Yeah.
That was one.
I saw their when I saw the Metro Stars practicing this for the first time I saw their newly acquired point guard back then, Gilbert Demape. I don't know if you remember that name.
Remember the
Man,
familiar
lightning
name?
quick.
Yeah.
He's so good. Like he's built too. He was built.
So I'm just looking at the Pampanga. Going back to the Pampanga Dragons, I'm just looking at their roster.
Yeah.
I forgot that Mr. Excitement was there.
Yeah, for a time.
Mr. Excitement
Alvarez.
played for them.
Yeah.
And you got Gabi Atenean Gabi Kui as well.
Gabi Kui. Yeah.
So that's
Um,
Shot Tompkinson played for them.
Norman Gonzalez. I
You,
remember.
you got Brian Punsalan. I don't know if you remember Brian Punsalan
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
name.
yeah. He looked like a brother, man. I
Estong
remember him. Yeah.
Ballesteros, another one.
Eston Beceros from USC. Yeah.
That was yeah, man. Look, those games were cheap and it was easy. It
Right.
was accessible, and just
Yeah.
watching those games in that old
Mhm.
gym was amazing. Obviously, we had the
Another
memories as kids.
Yeah, another game I remember. Ateneo, like we were in high school. We were I think third year. Um, I remember watching a seniors game there, Ateneo against UE, and we were down until like we were down the whole game until probably like 5 minutes left in the game, and then Rainier season man just caught fire.
One of my
Like dude,
favorite players ever.
he was hitting three after three.
One of my
Like
favorite players
just
ever. He's just
yeah,
yeah, one of the amazing shooters, man. I
yeah.
think had
What
he
a
played
shooter.
in a different era,
Yeah.
he probably would have won a lot more championships.
Oh yeah.
He
Yep.
was he was so instrumental, right? He was just such a good shooter for that
Yeah.
team. But those are the memories.
Yep.
What are your impressions? What are your impressions with that renovations? The renovations that they did,
That's amazing. Yeah.
the before and after. It's
The
like
before and after is just like night and day, man. Like we see the floor, and it's so cool because it reminds me of there was one time when Staples had that theater lighting when like the crowd was like it was dark, but the only thing that was lit up was the court, and that's how I kind of felt like the new Blue Eagle gym like you only had the court highlighted. It was so cool. Yeah, I was so happy that that they brought the UAP back to the home.
I,
It was our home
what I
basically.
like, and yeah, I agree. What I like about what the UAP is doing is they brought basketball back to Ateneo Gym, right? They also
Right.
did it for UST. The UST has a good gym as
The
well. They
USC
did it
gym. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right, and
Uh-huh.
I think they should start
Right.
doing that. They should.
Yeah.
I look. It's not gonna be as similar to the NCAA in the states where they
Right.
just go home and away, right? Because of
Yeah. I don't
logistics
think
and
so.
and
Yeah.
and we gotta remember that in a game day, a lot of teams are playing.
Right.
I mean, women play, the kids play.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games.
Yes,
It's
the
not just
women,
one
yeah.
game for that specific timeline. And
Right.
I think they can get away with just like go putting the let's say for example Ateneo is playing a big team or they're like the main event of that day,
Yeah.
that game day.
Yeah.
I mean, what hurts if he can just do that in the Ateneo gym, just play all the
Right.
games in there.
Yeah.
If UP is doing that, do it in the UP gym. It kind of adds a little bit more
Right.
ambiance and atmosphere to it if you're playing
Yeah.
that. Because look, the game that they played the first time in 20 years that UAP basketball returned to the Blue Eagle gym,
Yep.
it was a 3 overtime thriller.
Triple overtime.
Triple overtime, man. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the game, man. Let's talk about the game real
Yeah.
quick. What do you remember? What are your thoughts? Anything that stood out for you? So before we start, right? Ateneo was
Yeah.
playing their third game in 6 days.
Yeah.
All right, let's frame it with this. All my thoughts are gonna be based on that. But what do you think?
Tough schedule, but you know, it was a tough loss. But man, the boys just played their hearts out, man. It's just characteristic of Ateneo basketball. We're not gonna give up. We're gonna play our hearts out. Props to our boys. Like they really laid it all on the line, and it just came to a point in the third overtime when we're just gassed. We're just really gassed. And UST, they can just see that they were built. Th- they were more conditioned in the third overtime, and they were just playing as that like the contenders that they are. But if it's a character test, like oh man, like our our boys were just our boys just laid it all on the line out there. Props to Jared Bahay. Those
God. So
dude,
good.
those unreal shots. You know,
He
it
was
was just
clutch.
yeah,
I
yeah, man.
was I was a bit down on Jared Bay this year. He was a bit inconsistent. He
Right.
was a bit. I was kind of questioning a lot of his decision making. I was
Mm-hmm.
questioning. I've seen. I saw him make some passes, not just in this game,
Mm-hmm.
but in other games where really why would
Yeah.
you do it like that? You know, it's kind of like
Right.
I was ready to say that this might be, you know, this might be it for him with regards to being the point guard for the future.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I was wrong. I was so wrong. He looked like,
Yeah.
dude, he looked like something else out there in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter,
Yeah.
and whenever the team needed him the most, he was like the avatar,
He
bro.
was there. He was there.
He
Yeah.
was there instead of disappearing. He was there. He would
Yeah.
just hit shot after shot, and I don't know why UP just went under the screens. I don't know if you remember that, but every time
Oh yeah.
they put that high pick roll with Jared carrying the ball, they would just go under. He would just pop for three, and that was it.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
so clutch, and it was so.
Clutch.
I mean, I think he's more. I really look. I think he's 5'9" or something like that. He's not that big. He's more of a. I still think he's more of a scoring point guard. He's more of an undersized shooting guard, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I see him more as a Stephon Marbury, Allen Iverson type of player,
Right.
where
Right.
he's the type of player who can put some offensive
Yeah.
load on.
Yeah,
But-
or even even like a Jai Reyes, you know.
Oh, we're gonna talk about him in a minute, but yes,
Well,
Dynamite,
he's a-
yes,
He was a shoot first point guard.
right, and
Yeah.
he was so good, and it was fun watching him pop those shots, and it was
Right.
and again, we talked about the 3 games in 6 days, and
Yeah.
he kind of hit it on the head, right? He hit the nail
Yeah.
on the head. Ateneo came out really flat. It was brick city out there. They were like building
Yeah.
a new gym with
Yeah.
how this is not just Ateneo, it's UST as well. They were
Right.
just bricking everything out there, and it looked like it was gonna be a long night. It looked like it's gonna be a disappointing night, but
Right.
look, they lost, but it wasn't disappointing at all. The
was not
fight that they
disappointing, yeah.
had, the fight that they had was something I'll never forget watching. And
Yeah.
one guy stood out to me as well, Dom Escobar.
Dom Escobar
He
was-
wasn't.
yeah.
He was making a lot of mistakes, man. He couldn't
Yeah.
shoot. He was missing free throws. He was missing shots. But dude, that man rebounded the hell out of that ball.
Yeah.
He had like I think like 20 rebounds or some shit like that.
Yeah.
He
think
kind
I've seen
of
the
gave
box
me
score.
Kobe Game 7 vibes
Yeah.
with
Because
how he was going for
rebounding.
that ball.
He knows his role. Like, you know, if my shot's not falling, I'm gonna do something else.
Right?
So that's
He's
how he is. Yeah.
he gave me that Kobe Game 7 vibes in the
Right.
finals where he just
Yeah.
oh, you know what? I'm just gonna get this rebound. And he could have played a lot more had he not fouled out. And we're gonna talk about the officiating a little bit, but
Right.
when Dom went out
He did have
due to
20
fouls.
rebounds. Yeah.
How many did he
I'm
have?
looking at this. I'm looking at the stat sheet. He had 20 rebounds.
Yeah, see, he had 20 rebounds, and
8
I get-
offensive, 12 defensive.
that was one of the biggest things in
Yeah.
that game because we know that
Yeah.
Colin Sakaway was gonna be dominating inside the paint,
Right.
and they didn't for most of the game. They didn't let him.
Yeah.
I saw them. This was the game where I saw them fight for rebounds, and it
Right.
showed in the box score.
Yeah.
They really fought for those rebounds, and they didn't let Akoi get all those rebounds for himself. Because in the latter stages of the game, as long as when Akoi got those offensive rebounds, easy put back. That was it, right? But
Right.
they along the game as the game went along, Ateneo was really fighting. Everyone was gag rebounding. It wasn't one player, and then they made Akoi bleed for his points. It wasn't. It was
Yeah.
he was kind. I wouldn't say they limited him, but they made him work really.
Yeah.
And then
And
shout
that's
out
all you can
to
do
shout
with
out
someone
to.
who's that dominant, you know. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, the guy's 6'10", man. The guy's
Yeah.
6'10", built like a brick. He looks
Yeah.
like Pusha T,
Yeah.
right? Pusha T was really,
Right.
you know, Pusha T was really balling. But
Yep.
Fortsky Padrigao, man, Fortsky, he was supposed to be the one,
Or Steve Madrigal.
right? He was supposed to be the one.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna get into the details, but
Yeah.
if you know, you know, right? If you know, you know.
Yeah.
With Fortsky, he was supposed to be the one,
Right.
but ended up not working out, and
Yeah.
he was on full revenge mode, man.
Full revenge mode for him.
You saw
Yeah,
he wanted this game bad. You
he
saw he
wanted
wanted this game
badly.
bad,
Yeah, he wanted it so bad. Yeah.
and he played
Um,
so. He played so well.
yeah.
What would you say something?
Well, it was a good, you know, it was also a good gesture when he like, you know, touched the eagle in the center court. You know, it's like, you know, there's no animosity. You know, it's just, you know, it is what it is, and you know, it's yeah. He's still gonna be, he's forever gonna be a Blue Eagle still. You know, even with all
And
that's, you know, with all that happened. But yeah, I mean, he was
and
cooking. He was cooking.
he was good. I think
Yeah.
I honestly thought, was it the first overtime or something? He had
Hmm.
that ball in isolation in the first overtime,
Uh.
and then they almost. I was so scared that that ball would go in with the way he was shooting that game.
Yeah.
It would have been
Yeah.
poetic for him to just finish at the day off in the first overtime
With the yeah.
with him, but I think it was a turnover or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Fortsky and even to
Hmm.
Mason Amos. They
Yep.
both were singing the school hymn after.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
mean, those whatever happened already. But this is a
Yep.
game, and these kids have an
Hmm.
experience. These kids were still part of that experience in that school, and
Hmm.
you know it's good to
Right.
see, right? It's good to
Yeah.
see. I mean, it's all
Hmm.
basketball at the end of the day.
Yep.
Just respect to those two. We're getting to
Yeah.
Mason Amos in a bit, but
Yep.
um, I was saying that look, one of the things that I noticed there was the way Ateneo was executing in that game wasn't Ateneo at all. It looked
Hmm.
different.
Yeah.
They kind of went a lot of ISO in that game. I don't know why.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it's because they were too tired. I'm not sure if fatigue
Hmm.
played a factor in there.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
But
fatigue. You know, fatigue is a factor, especially you're playing. Yeah, you mentioned three games in 6 days, and then you go into triple overtime. You're gonna get gassed. Like
they were guys. I think they were
yeah.
guys. I mean, UAAP teams usually play 2 games a week max.
Right. Max.
Max. But
Yeah.
Ateneo has been on a very, very rough patch as it comes to scheduling.
Hmm.
They faced LaSalle first. They won that. They lost to UP. We mentioned that already. And then this game against UST
Right.
just to finish the trifecta off, 3 games in 6 days. We're going to talk about their schedule in a bit. But I think fatigue really played a factor here.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about the reffing as well because that was total shit to me. As the game went along, the calls were tighter and got tighter and got tighter.
Calls got so much tighter, man.
You
And
know, they got
don't mention that Jared Bahay 2 that was supposed to be a 3.
yeah. I was gonna say that as well. They
Yeah.
took I don't know, was it 10, 15 minutes they took just replaying that?
Yeah.
They took so much time replaying it. And here's my
Right.
beef with that. Okay, whether it's a 2 or a 3 doesn't matter. What I'm
Uh-huh.
saying is, in the NBA, if they make a call, it's on the refs to overturn it,
Right.
right? If it takes you 10, 15 minutes to make this call, and you're not sure, then you're not
Then
supposed to be overturning it,
it just shows that they don't know what they're doing.
right? Because in
Yeah.
the NBA, if the only way you overturn a call is if you have solid proof that you made a mistake.
Yeah, and they're gonna and you look at it through the review booth, the review center or whatever.
I don't know how many camera angles they had. They didn't even share it. Whatever they were,
Yeah.
as much as we complained about how the UAAP broadcasts have gone, they didn't even show replays of the thing.
No. No.
They were just showing those friggin' refs staring at the board for 10, 15 minutes. Everyone was getting cold. They couldn't make a decision. That
Yeah.
to me means that you should have just stuck with your original one.
Right.
But it kind of seems
Yeah.
that they were kind of pressured into making it because of how the USD bench was reacting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But dude,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be reacting based on what the players and the staff
Yeah.
are doing.
You guys are
You're supposed to be
referees.
reacting what you're seeing.
You guys make the judgment calls, all right? So like I don't know what happened there. Like yeah, USC was arguing the call and then they were like, "Oh, you know, it's just inept what, you know, how the officiating has been." And we're gonna highlight that in a bit, especially we're gonna talk about that LaSalle UE game as well. So, but just you know, uh, it's just been horrendous. Like the officiating, and we mentioned that last week where there whistle happy when the game is inside, when the game is in the paint, but when the game is in the perimeter, they're not calling anything.
Yeah, it kind of
You know?
seems that they favor a lot of those perimeter-oriented teams, which
Right.
kind of makes you think. It kind of makes me think if Aldin Ayo was still coaching in this league, how
No.
successful would he be?
Oh
Because
man.
he's very press happy, right?
Right.
He's very physical in the perimeter. He's very happy.
Yeah.
He's very physical with those presses. He would have been so
Yeah.
good in this kind of climate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Coach France, even.
Another one, the Pamarin
Yeah.
press. It's
Yeah.
kind of it doesn't make sense to me that maybe that you're kind of being a little bit more lax when it comes to perimeter play
Yeah.
because I mean you can see a lot of hand checks. You can see a lot of blocking fouls that you would call on inside the same way.
Yeah.
But I don't know if because is it because I don't know. I've never been a ref, right? But is it because of the pace of the game? It's faster in the perimeter versus in the paint? Is that a case of that? I don't know.
Probably the pace. Yeah. Yeah. But like you mentioned, the pace is already slow as it is with all the whistles being blown. You know.
So it's just the game is a lot faster when you're defending someone in the perimeter, right? You're running
Yeah.
around and all that stuff. Maybe it's
Yeah.
harder to
Because
see
you're
those
swinging.
those
You're
little
swinging the
fouls.
ball. Yeah. Yeah. It's harder to see those fouls.
So yeah, it's a bit odd that they don't. There's just so many games where some people are just down big, and for some reason people come back. And
Yeah.
you mentioned the UE LaSalle game. This was exactly that. UE was up 21 points.
Right.
LaSalle was able to come back and beat them in overtime
Right.
by 1 point.
Yeah.
LaSalle won by 1 point, and coach, do we even want to play that video? But the coach of UE, Chris Gavina, apparently is from New
Right.
Jersey,
Right.
and he was just going off, man.
All
It
like,
was pretty funny. Do you want to play it? I think I want to play it a lot. Let me play it real quick because it's
play
just
a
so
little
funny
bit
the
of
way he
it.
talks.
Yeah. I don't think it's. I don't think it's.
'Cause it was just
You know.
he was just okay. Let's react to this. I'm gonna play it
Right.
and then let's see what he said. And
Right.
no, look, I don't mean to make fun of the situation, but it was just a
No.
bit
No.
funny
No.
to me.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So let's play a little bit. So here's the post game press conference for that game where LaSalle caught up 21 points down and
Right.
then they won in overtime. So the
Right.
coach of this team is partly from New Jersey, Hoboken.
Right.
So it was let's see how it. All right.
Because they took, it was a complete disservice for the outcome of this game and the beauty of the competition was taken away. Because you call an unspun on one of our best players on a loose ball. I watched the video. They told me that Webo jumped up in purpose on a loose ball. What the fuck? No way. You watch that video again. There's no way on a loose ball that when the ball, there hasn't been a whistle call, everyone's going for the ball. Everyone's going after it. Call a regular foul. You call an loose ball on a play like that? Wello had 24 points at that moment.
All right, let's get that up. You can really hear the New York in that one, bro. It's like the way he kind of the way he said that is kind of reminds me of the way Filipinos say our favorite curse word. In Filipino we call it malutong.
Malutong.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
Chris Gavina said that in
Right.
my eyes. Look, let's talk about the officiating a little bit. If we saw the play, so people were on the floor essentially, and then the player he mentioned, Ken Baclan, had the ball,
Yeah. Yeah. Ken
right?
Baclan. Yeah.
And then the UE player essentially dove for the ball because the refs weren't calling a jump just yet.
Right.
So that's where essentially the situation was. The ball was dead. It was essentially going to be a jump ball, But the UE player dove for the ball, and then unfortunately hit Kian Baclan's knee,
You
landed
landed
on it,
on Kian Baclan's knee. Yeah.
and he suffered a sprain. Sorry, not a sprain, a tore MCL.
Torn MCL.
Torn his MCL, and essentially was out for a season. Unfortunate for LaSalle, and we're going to talk about their injury woes in a bit. But okay, I want to talk about this real quick because this has been a very controversial play. Do you think
Right.
that it was supposed to be an intentional foul? Before you answer that, an unsportsmanlike foul from so the UAAP is following FIBA rules, yeah.
The FIBA
So
rules.
they're using the rules for FIBA to determine their rule set.
Right.
And then a sportsmanlike foul is in FIBA plays essentially when you're not going for the ball, it's not a basketball play, and it's excessive contact.
Right.
So what is this to you from a FIBA perspective on a sportsmanlike foul? I'll bring up the play in a bit, but just go
Yeah.
for it.
100% no. No. When the ball is loose like that, your instinct as a player, when bodies are on the floor, the ball is loose. Your instinct as a player is to get possession of it, because it's either gonna be, if you're in the NBA, it's gonna be a jump ball. If you're in FIBA, it's gonna be possession arrow. So what you're fighting for is possession of the ball if the ball is loose. So if in that situation you're going for someone's knee instead of the ball, then you're just a dirty player. We saw in the video that Welo Lingo, who's the player for UE, had his eyes on the ball.
Let's share that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go share that,
Had
right?
his
So this is
arms
the
ready
play.
to pounce on the ball. All right.
Let's go. So this is essentially the start, right? So
Yeah.
Baclan tore his MCL as a result. So that's the play. Let's stop it right here.
Yeah.
That's the dive, and
It's
you
a loose
saw
ball, yeah.
he obviously landed on it, right? So
Yeah.
let's kind of stop it a little bit. Let's see
Right.
where they're at. So people are fighting for the ball,
Yeah. There's no whistle at
People
this
are
point. There's
Yeah.
no whistle at this point.
right? It's leading towards the jump,
Yeah.
right? And then
Leading towards the jump.
you got the LaSalle player on the floor. You got the UE player here, this guy on top.
Yeah.
And then this is the dude who essentially dives for it. So
Yeah.
if you play a little bit,
So you have
see
two
they're all
hands.
fighting for the ball.
Yeah. You have Kian Baclan's hand is on the ball. Welo Lingo's hand is also on the ball.
Yep, they're fighting.
Right.
And then what happened was, I guess what people are saying is that he shouldn't have gone for the dive. That was it. So the way Kian Baclan's body's positioned, he doesn't have a base really, right? He's sitting on the floor, and what happens during the push, during the dive, is that there's a lot of momentum going down now
Right. Yeah.
on his knee, right? On
Yeah.
Kian Baclan, really. So it's
Right.
just unfortunate that he landed on his knee, but you can
Yeah.
see he's not even looking at the knee.
No, he's not looking at the knee. Yo.
He's going for the ball 100%
He's
in this
going
case,
for the ball.
and
Yeah.
it just so happens that there you
Yeah.
go. When he lands, Kian Baclan was unstable. He had no base.
No.
He
base.
was
Yeah.
essentially the only way he's gonna go is wherever the UE player's momentum is gonna take him,
Yeah.
and that's unfortunate. When
That's
there,
unfortunate.
you see that twist?
Yeah, that's a twist.
See the twist in there? So it started from
Yeah.
here to here, and the momentum is too much. It takes a twist,
Yeah.
and then that's an injury. Obviously, that's an
That's an
unfortunate injury and a loss to this kid.
Yeah.
But there you go. That's it. That's the
Yeah.
injury right there. But
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I don't think it was warranted to be an unintentional foul.
It's not an
It's not an unsportsmanlike foul, in my opinion.
No. Yeah.
And again, it's not just because. I think what happened here was the ref saw the injury. The ref saw the reaction from the player, and with all the people watching,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that they just got pressured to make that call.
Right.
And it's just unfortunate that if that's the case, the refs are swayed by people. Right? One of the things that I mean, we shut on NBA refs a lot. We shut on Scott
Yeah.
Foster. We shut on Tony Brothers a lot. But
Right.
this thing won't happen in in the NBA. It's
No.
not something that they don't care if they're even in their LA or whatever. They're not going to
They're
make a
not gonna
call
care.
based
Yeah.
right based on the crowd reaction. And I think that's what
Yeah.
happened here. I think they made
Yeah.
the call based on the
Based
reaction of
on
the crowd,
Yeah. Yep.
on the reaction of the teams, on the reaction of the players. Similar to how they made the call on Jared Bahay with how everyone was reacting to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's cool, man. What do you think?
Pure and simple. If you get affected by the reaction of a crowd, you shouldn't be reffing. Pure and simple. You shouldn't be reffing. And this should be a wake up call for the UAP board. I don't know what you guys process is for getting referees, but if this is gonna be the case all season long, then these people like Chris Gavina, as profanity laden as his rant was, he's calling it like it is. He's calling it like it is.
Fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here, man. Like,
Get the fuck. I think so. So I'm looking at the box score right now, and it looks like I gotta rewatch this game, but it happened in the fourth quarter, and UE was essentially down. LaSalle was catching up. They were down 4.
right.
And the guy that went out because of the flagrant was, I mean, the UE's best player.
Yeah.
So they kind of got lost after that. It wasn't the
Right.
same. The game that call changed the game. And I'm not saying you don't make that call because of how it changes the game. I'm saying you don't make that call based on what the environment tells
What
you.
the
to
environment
make.
tells you, yeah.
Right? And look, Chris Gavina, that coach had a very, very animated response. We saw that after that UST Ateneo game, Tab Baldwin had his own response. It was a bit more subtle.
And then also I've seen comments on social media saying like, oh, you're just ranting because your team is 0-6. Dude, they had a legitimate chance of winning that game.
Yep.
Like, it's not it's not a sour graping issue. He's calling it like it is.
I mean,
The officiating not just with this game, but with other games as well, involving some schools, which I'm not gonna mention, who are getting the longer end of the stick with the officiating. It's just
Shout out
that's
UP.
what it is. There you go.
I'm gonna call it as it is, man. I'm gonna call
Oh,
it I'm gonna call out the Katipunan Clippers on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, this is not the first time. As we
No.
said, Chris Cavina wasn't the first. Okay,
Yeah.
Tal Baldwin did it. He
Tal
said,
Baldwin.
I think his quote was, 2 teams played well today,
There was
but there was a
team on
third
the floor.
team that was horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, but he was again. Tal Baldwin wasn't the first, but he's not the last. Another coach, and this is from a contending team. NU is one of the top teams right now.
Right. Yeah.
Their coach Jeff Napa, an ex-player, they
Jeff
also
Napa.
complain about
Yeah.
calls. Okay,
Yeah.
this is not an isolated incident. There are things
No.
that coaches have noticed. These are professional coaches.
Right.
They've noticed how inconsistent the calls are, and they've
Yes.
made their complaints clear. And the league actually has responded. So look, it's it's a bit, I would say, sad because look, the commissioner of the UAAP this season is Jai Reyes. He's at the he's a high school legend. Okay, he's a
Yeah,
high school
right.
legend.
Yeah.
One of the best
In
nicknames
college.
ever.
Dynamite.
Dynamite. Okay, just because the reason why he's called that is because he's kind of like a Lou Will, right? He scores in bunches. He has a.
He scores,
I think
yeah.
he hit. I remember watching him hit a clutch 3 once in high school.
He did the
Right.
in the championship. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what cemented him as as an Ateneo legend in my eyes.
Yep.
Before I go there, I have a funny story. So,
Yeah.
there was another. I don't know if you remember the Asian Basketball League.
Yeah.
So this was more of an NBA type league where it's a home and away thing, but these are teams around, I think it was Southeast Asia.
Right.
So you got Singapore in there. You got, I think you got a team in Manila as well. You got a
Right.
Vietnamese team in there. So on and so
Oh
forth.
yeah, yeah. It's like
So
ABC Champions Cup or something like that.
no, it's an ASEAN Basketball League.
I
It's
see it in basketball league.
yeah,
Yeah.
ASEAN Basketball League, and then so what happened there is Jai was playing for, I believe, the Vietnam team,
Oh.
and the coach was, if I remember it correctly, the coach of that team was Kobe Bryant's dad. Rest in peace.
Jellybean.
Yeah. Or if he
Oh.
wasn't the coach of that team, he was coach of
Uh-huh.
one of those teams. He coached in
Yeah.
that league, if I remember
Right.
correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the funny thing here is that I was living in Singapore at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and that team, whatever Jai's team was, they were playing against the Singapore team in Singapore.
Right.
So because I'm a fan, because of the Ateneo connection, right?
Yeah.
I went to the game because I wanted to watch Jairus play again.
Right.
He had a great high school career.
Mm-hmm.
I think in college was a bit underwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to the pros. He got selected for, and call it the NEPA stuff here as much as you want. He got drafted into the team where his uncle Chatreyas was coaching.
Talk and text.
Right, he was there. He
Yeah.
did. I don't think he lasted long in the Philippine league, and he kind of disappeared. And I was a bit disappointed because I like the guy. Right.
Yeah.
I like watching the guy. So he popped up in that ASEAN Basketball League, and I just had to watch. I just had to watch
Yeah.
that game, and I remember I wanted to go early. I wanted to maybe take a photo or something like that.
Right.
I went there. I had an Ateneo shirt on. I had an Ateneo
Oh.
shirt and Ateneo hat on, bro. I was repping. I was repping, bro. I couldn't find my jersey, but I wanted to wear a jersey, but I just wore Ateneo gear as much as I
Right.
could. And then it was disappointing because we were planning to get there early.
Right.
But I was such a lazy dude. I was just lazy. I woke up late. You know, we left the house late. We
Right.
ended up getting there probably before a couple of minutes before the game started, so we didn't have time
Right.
to actually do shit.
Yeah.
But I remember this really, really well. And I don't know if he remembers this, but our seats were probably in the middle of the arena.
Right.
And then again, I was wearing all Ateneo gear. I was repping the blue, bro.
Right.
I
Yeah.
was there. And I remember just shouting at the top of my lungs. Remember, this is the shoot around. So no
Yeah.
one was there. It was all quiet.
Yeah.
And I just shouted at the top of my lungs. I was probably in the middle of the small arena.
Right.
I shouted dynamite at the top of
Yeah.
my lungs. Okay? And he looked. He saw me. I know he saw me. Because I was wearing all blue on.
Yeah.
And the team that he had on was, I think they were black and red or some shit like that.
Right.
They weren't blue at all.
Yeah.
No one in that arena would wear blue except for me. Because of... I shouted dynamite at the top of my lungs, and he looked, man. He looked. He saw who I was. I was like, "Oh shit, this is Ateneo. What is he doing here?" And bro, I gotta say, I don't know if that affected his game or not. I'm not gonna
Oh.
say that, but he was just chucking shots that game. Man. It was fun watching him. Right? I that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see
Right.
that dynamite.
Yeah.
Okay, even though he wasn't. I don't think he had good stats that game, but I enjoyed watching it. And I just enjoyed watching him chuck shots, and that was so funny, man. But yeah, look, he's essentially the head honcho for the UAP right now in
He's
this
the
season.
commissioner. Yeah.
He's a commissioner. He's the G. He's the Adam Silver. So we got these coaches essentially complaining publicly now, and Chris Gavina did such an awesome job at it. Malutong, right?
Yeah.
Such a malutong job. And then they essentially put in a statement out here, and then I'm just gonna read a little bit of it. So, before the start of the season, this is from the UAP. This is from Jai Reyes,
Yeah.
Dynamite himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So before the start, so the UAP Basketball Commissioner's Office respects the voices of our coaches and values their rights to express their thoughts freely. Constructive criticism of referees and officiating is welcome, as it is essential for the growth and development of our game officials. Both
Right.
the Commissioner's Office and the coaches share a common goal to elevate the quality of basketball at the UAAP and ensure that every contest is played with fairness, passion, and integrity.
Right.
Okay. he's basically going in here just some PR spiel, and then
Right.
infractions have been noted for unsportsmanlike behavior and violations of protocol. So what he's saying here is that some coaches, including Tab Baldwin, they have been comments.
Right.
they have been essentially reprimanded. And this is what's weird. Coach
Right.
Tab Baldwin was cited for violating the cooling off period. What the hell is this? What the hell
What's
is the
that?
cooling off period? I don't know what that is.
Mhm.
So point is, coaches have been complaining
Right.
publicly, and they have been reprimanded. As this is what happens essentially everywhere anyway. So that's pretty much it. The commissioner's office remains steadfast in its mission to develop a pool of high quality, consistent officials in alignment with FIBA standards. I'm going to highlight that.
Right.
This season, the UAAP referee pool boasts 7 of the 9 active FIBA international referees in the Philippines. 5 hold the highest FIBA license, and 1 belongs to the elite cadre authorized to officiate top-tier FIBA competitions. Right, so essentially, he's defending the refs here, saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
they're FIBA, blah 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 blah." I mean, look, this is I was expecting a little bit more here. This is a lot
Yeah.
of PR, but
Yeah.
I gotta give props to the dude Dynamite Reyes.
Yep.
Just for this, I know his job is
Yeah.
tough.
It's a tough job,
But-
man.
You know, it is what it is. Look, we've been very disappointed in the UAP refereeing as of a while. Look, all we want is consistency here, right?
Yeah.
That's all we're looking for here. We just want, if you're gonna call stuff close in the paint, call the stuff close in the perimeter as well.
The perimeter, yeah.
When these kids are putting presses and being physical with the hand checks and
Yeah.
the body checks,
Right.
just call it the same way. Call it
Yeah.
consistently. I think that's the common thread with everyone complaining about refereeing. It's not about who
Right.
wins or loses. I'm not about
Yeah.
that. Look,
Yeah.
am I gonna be salty to say that Ateneo could have won that game if it was ref? Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm
Yeah.
a fan, but
Yeah.
it is what it is, right? If they had just called that consistently, we wouldn't even be talking about this in the first place.
Right. Exactly. You know.
Anyway, shout out to Dynamite. Shout out to
Yep.
Jairus. Always gonna be a fan, man. Always gonna be a
Yep.
fan of the Dynamite.
Yeah. Definitely.
Always gonna
yeah.
be an Ateneo legend in my
Yes.
eyes.
Yes.
That's never gonna change.
Yeah. That's not gonna
Look,
change.
we talked about the. I want to talk about. I want to go back to that dirty stuff play.
Right.
We obviously don't think it's not dirty.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the play itself? Is because I don't think it's dirty, but I do think it's reckless. Right? I do think it's reckless. I do think that going for the ball when there's a chance of you hitting someone's legs
Reckless.
is
Yes,
probably
in
not
the
something
way,
you want to do.
Reckless in the way you're throwing your whole body in there, as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because in this case of where the UE player's name is Lingo Lingo, the way Lingo Lingo
Yeah.
jumped, dove, it was a forward dive, forward dive, right?
Forward dive. Yeah.
There's no way that Baklaan sitting down has the leverage to brace for that impact. There's no way for him to resist it. It's just
Yeah.
there's just too much force in there from
Right.
a huge person
Yeah.
to brace for that impact, and that's essentially what's always going to happen. Because there are some scenarios, there's some examples, even in the NBA, that this has happened. This is close to us. Okay,
Yeah.
so before I say that, Lingo Lingo is 6'1" and 170 pounds. So he's going down full force, diving forward against this. Baklaan is 5'9" or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's no way that he's gonna be physically ready for that. Okay, so
Right.
there are a couple of examples already that in the NBA this similar situation has happened. So this one is close to us. LeBron James and Solomon Hill.
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right. So if I remember correctly, paint the picture for me if I get it wrong. LeBron was he didn't even bother to reach down for the ball.
Right.
But Solomon Hill dove down
Yeah.
and hit LeBron in the knee. And I gotta say, this is probably the play that changed the trajectory of Lakers basketball
Right.
in this era.
Yep.
Because this essentially started a chain reaction for LeBron just being injured, really. I believe that started it. That
Right.
knee injury that he got from
That
Solomon
knee
Hill.
injury. Yeah.
Look, this was in 2001, after the season after the bubble, and this essentially
21. Yeah.
right. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
apart from the Westbrook trade, this was the one
Yeah.
that changed, that closed that window essentially.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And another situation, another thing. This is probably some implications as well. I don't know if you remember. Was it in the playoffs or not? But I remember Pat Bev going for diving for the ball on Westbrook,
Right.
and ended up tearing Westbrook's knee as well.
Yeah.
So that was another one. And then Dion Waiters diving on the floor against Rudy Gobert, but this was a little bit more positive. We're in.
Right.
Gobert was just out for a couple of games. It was just a contusion. Nothing
Yeah.
was torn.
Yeah.
So do you like people going for the ball? What do you think about this whole diving thing?
There's just like two ways to it can go one or two ways, you know. Like, you know, we all, you know, like, of course, as a coach and as a as a player, you know, one of the things we like seeing from players is, you know, hustling, you know, diving for loose balls, you know, just putting your whole body there. That, you know, that's always been a positive, you know, trait that you want to see in a player, you know, because that shows effort, that shows, you know, that shows a hard nose for, you know, for the ball, that shows that you want to do the dirty work. It's not just about finesse, it's not just about scoring, it's also about, you know, about, yeah, those little things, that the intangibles that we call them. But then again, there's a fine line in which, when this happens, when the collision happens where multiple players are diving for the ball, there's always gonna be that situation where you're gonna land on someone awkwardly and it's gonna result in an injury. You know, and that kind of is where the line, you kind of like want to look at where the line is, because as much as we want to see, you know, effort and hustle, we don't want to see injuries. We don't want to see players getting hurt over like freak accidents, like what happened to Kian Baclaan. So, in a way, there's a certain level of, I know, what should we say? I guess mindfulness when, you know, when in those types of situations. But then again, you know, it's all when you're in the game. When you're in a game situation, you really don't know how it's gonna go, and that's where it gets really cloudy, you know, in a sense. But, you know, while we all appreciate hustle, we all appreciate the dirty work, the garbage, you know, the garbage points, you know, the dirty side, you know, the not dirty in the sense, not hurtful in the sense, but the scrappy play. We appreciate scrappy play, but in a way, you know, we have to be more mindful of, you know, of the situation as well.
It's tough, right? You kind of mentioned it. It's tough when you're in that heat of a moment where you just want to win, especially in a close game like that.
Yeah,
it's just tough to paint that picture, and that's why it's kind of hard to say it's in a sportsman-like foul to begin with, because
and even like
you want this hustle.
Yeah. And it's not even these diving for the loose ball things. Like, for example, I remember going up for a rebound, and one a taller player gets the rebound over me. Of course, when you get the rebound, you gotta bring it down. He brings it down over my head, and it hits my head with an elbow, and, you know, that hurt. That really hurt. So that stuff like that, you know, it's just it's incidental. Sometimes it's incidental, and that happens. But when it becomes unsportsmanlike, like, and one notable case where it's really blatantly intentional is, remember that Artest elbow on James Harden?
Bro, what did he say about that? I think he said something about getting him out of the way or some shit like that. Yeah. He wanted to just push him out of the way and end up elbowing him inside of the head.
The play was over. He dunked it, and then he's just like celebrating, and then
Yeah, I mean,
That's-
Harden
Come on, bro.
was next to him, and I remember him saying that he just wanted to get him out of the way or something,
Right,
and
right.
he didn't, he didn't intend to hit him on the head. I'm like,
Come
okay,
on, man.
sure.
His
No,
name
but that's
was
the thing,
already,
right?
his name was already world peace that time.
He was already. I love MWP, man.
We love
He's always gonna be a
MWP,
legend
bro.
in my
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah.
It's just it's tough when you're playing
Yeah.
in that situation where you just want to
Yeah.
go for the ball. You want to win.
Right.
You know that I can't
Yeah.
blame people for diving. I
Mm-hmm.
I really can't. It's just that this is a side effect of it, and it's hard to ask a player to. Hey, if you see the guy standing, don't dive on him or something like that. It's gonna be hard, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, there are consequences to actions, and this
Right.
is unfortunate for LaSalle. This is unfortunate for Kian Baclan. He loses a year of his career.
Right.
You don't know what the long-term effects of it. LaSalle already lost Mason Amos for the year
Right.
as well
Yeah.
on a similar play. It's not diving, but it was more of going for the ball. They were both standing, I believe, and Mason
Yeah.
was just too tall.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think that's dirty. It's just like it's just you go for the ball. That's it, right? And sometimes
Yeah.
you don't think about what you're doing in the heat of the moment, and it doesn't mean that it's unsportsmanlike. It
No,
just means you're
yeah.
reckless, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. All right. So look,
Yeah.
that's enough basketball for